Ivan the Terrible is one of the most famous and feared leaders in world history. His name alone brings images of violence, madness, and absolute power. But Ivan was not born a monster. His life was shaped by pain, fear, and struggle from a very young age. To understand Ivan the Terrible, we must look at his entire life, his childhood, his rise to power, his achievements, and his many cruel actions. Ivan was both a nation builder and a destroyer. He helped make Russia strong, but he also filled it with fear and suffering. Ivan the Terrible ruled Russia in the 16th century. He was the first ruler to use the title Tsar, meaning emperor. His reign changed Russia forever. Some people see him as a great leader who united Russia. Others remember him as a cruel tyrant who killed thousands, including his own son. His story is dark, complex, and deeply human. Ivan IV was born on August 25, 1530, in Moscow, Russia. He was born into the ruling family of Muscovy, an early Russian state. His father, Grand Prince Vasily III, ruled Russia when Ivan was born. However, Ivan's peaceful childhood did not last long. When Ivan was only 3 years old, his father died. This made Ivan the ruler in name, but he was far too young to rule. His mother, Elena Glinskaya, became the regent, meaning she ruled on his behalf. For a short time, Ivan's life was stable. His mother tried to protect him and strengthen the kingdom. But tragedy struck again. When Ivan was 8 years old, his mother suddenly died. Many historians believe she was poisoned by powerful nobles called boyars. After her death, Ivan was left alone in a dangerous palace filled with greedy and violent nobles who cared only about power. After his mother's death, Ivan's life became very cruel. The boyars who controlled the government fought constantly among themselves. They ignored young Ivan, mistreated him, and sometimes abused him. Ivan later wrote that he and his younger brother were often left hungry and poorly clothed. He saw violence every day inside the palace. Boyars were arrested, beaten, or killed in front of him. The palace that should have been his home felt like a prison. This terrible childhood deeply affected Ivan's mind. He grew up angry, suspicious, and emotionally damaged. He learned early that power meant survival. He also developed a strong hatred for the boyars, whom he blamed for his suffering. Despite this, Ivan was very intelligent. He loved books, especially religious texts and history. He had an excellent memory and could debate complex ideas. But along with intelligence, his heart was full of fear and rage. In 1547, at just 16 years old, Ivan made a historic decision. He crowned himself as Tsar of all Russia. This was the first time a Russian ruler used the title Tsar, which came from the word Caesar. By using this title, Ivan declared that he was not just a prince, but an emperor chosen by God. This moment marked a new beginning for Ivan and for Russia. As Tsar, Ivan wanted to rule strongly and fairly. At first, his reign showed great promise. He surrounded himself with a group of advisors known as the Chosen Council. These men helped him carry out reforms to improve the country. Ivan also married Anastasia Romanovna, a kind and gentle woman who had a calming effect on him. During these early years, Ivan ruled wisely and was respected by his people. During the first part of his reign, Ivan made many positive changes. He worked to reduce the power of corrupt nobles and strengthen the central government. He improved the legal system by creating a new law code called the Sudebnik of 1550. This helped bring more order and fairness to Russian society. Ivan also reorganized the military. He created a standing army called the Streltsy, which was better trained and more loyal to the Tsar. This helped Russia defend itself and expand its borders. Another major achievement was Ivan's support for education and religion. He supported the Russian Orthodox Church and encouraged the printing of books. The first printing press in Russia was established during his reign. At this time, Ivan was seen as a strong and capable ruler. Many believed he was chosen by God to lead Russia into greatness. Ivan wanted to expand Russia's borders and secure its future. One of his greatest achievements was the conquest of the Kazan Khanate in 1552. Kazan was a powerful, Muslim state that had long threatened Russia. After a long and difficult battle, Ivan's army captured Kazan. This victory was celebrated as a major triumph. It opened new lands for settlement and trade and made Russia safer. Later, Ivan conquered the Astrakhan Khanate, giving Russia control over important trade routes along the Volga River. These victories turned Russia into a large multi-ethnic empire. However, These military successes also increased Ivan's belief that he was chosen by God and above all other people. This belief would later contribute to his cruelty. In 1560, Ivan's life took a dark turn. His beloved wife, Anastasia, suddenly fell ill and died. Ivan was completely broken by her death. He believed she had been poisoned by the boyars. After this loss, Ivan changed forever. He became paranoid, angry, and cruel. His trust in others disappeared. He began to see enemies everywhere, even among his closest advisors. His mental health worsened. He suffered from violent mood swings, depression, and uncontrollable rage. Many historians believe Ivan suffered from severe psychological trauma combined with mental illness. This moment marked the beginning of Ivan the Terrible's darkest period. In 1565, Ivan created a terrifying system called the Oprichnina. He divided Russia into two parts. One part he ruled normally. The other part, the Oprichnina, was his personal territory controlled by his private army. The soldiers of the Oprichnina were called oprichniki. They wore black clothing and rode black horses. They carried symbols of death, such as dogs' heads and brooms. These symbols meant they would sniff out traitors and sweep them away. The oprichniki were given full power to arrest, torture, and kill anyone Ivan suspected of betrayal. Thousands of nobles, clergy, and ordinary people were executed. Lands were taken, families destroyed, and fear spread across Russia. This period was one of the bloodiest in Russian history. One of the worst events during Ivan's reign was the massacre of Novgorod in 1570. Ivan believed the city of Novgorod was planning to betray him and join Poland. Without clear evidence, Ivan led his troops into the city. For weeks, the oprichniki tortured and killed thousands of people. Men, women, children, and priests were murdered. Many were drowned in freezing rivers. The city was destroyed economically and emotionally. This massacre showed how far Ivan's cruelty had gone. His fear of betrayal had turned into madness. Despite early military success, Ivan's later wars were disasters. He fought a long conflict called the Livonian War to gain access to the Baltic Sea. This war lasted more than 20 years and drained Russia's resources. Russia faced defeats, famine, and economic collapse. Heavy taxation and forced labor caused great suffering among the people. Trade declined, and many villages were abandoned. Ivan's endless suspicion and violent policies weakened the country he once helped to build. In 1581, Ivan committed his most tragic and personal crime. During an argument, Ivan struck his eldest son, Ivan Ivanovich, in anger with his staff. The blow was fatal. When Ivan realized what he had done, he was filled with grief and horror. He held his dying son and cried uncontrollably. This moment became one of the most famous images in Russian history. By killing his capable son, Ivan destroyed his own dynasty's future. Ivan spent his final years sick, lonely, and afraid. His body was weak, and his mind was restless. He feared death and judgment for his sins. In 1584, Ivan collapsed while playing chess and died. He was 53 years old. After his death, Russia fell into a period of chaos known as the Time of Troubles. Ivan the Terrible remains one of history's most complex figures. He was intelligent, educated, and deeply religious. He strengthened the Russian state, expanded its borders, and created the title of Tsar, but he was also cruel, paranoid, and violent. His rule destroyed countless lives and filled Russia with fear. His actions showed how absolute power can corrupt the human soul. Ivan the Terrible was shaped by trauma, abuse, and loss. His life is a tragic reminder that leaders are human and that unresolved pain can turn into destruction on a massive scale. Ivan the Terrible's story is not just about power and cruelty. It is about a boy who grew up without love, a ruler who wanted control to feel safe, and a man who could not escape his inner darkness. He changed Russia forever, for better and for worse. His name lives on, not only as a warning, but as a lesson about fear, power, and the cost of unchecked authority.